been a long while.
Did you just get back from Nam?
Yes.
Shit, man, like...
Actually, NAMM Nam was recently, but no, I didn't go to that. 'Cause I
personal
think it was all
Vietnam.
digital.
It's all digital, because, you know, you piece of shit.
COVIDs. So let's see. I'm trying to think of what has gone on since last time I recorded with y'all.
On the last Disconnected cast.
I haven't, not so much recently, but since last time I have played more Eichenfell. I'm pretty close to the end, I think. I'm like on chapter 7.
Nice.
Really good game.
Yeah.
If I did play it when it came out, it definitely would have been my personal game of the year.
Game of the year.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Good one.
Yeah, no, I really love the music too. Apparently it's the same composers that did Steven Universe.
Oh, interesting.
So it's
Those
pretty
are some
awesome.
good songs.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I'm really hoping that gets released on vinyl, because I haven't heard anything about it being on vinyl yet.
Nope.
You're really going for
If it
vinyl,
was,
huh?
it might have been when it first came out.
Vinyl is great. Yeah, plus it's a nice feeling to have it.
You remember when Phil tried to lead the whole vinyl charge and then no one listened to him because who the fuck listens to him? And
Wait, you don't
Yeah,
want this
yeah.
this dirty Black Flag vinyl from
No.
1996?
shoegaze vinyls,
Like-
dude.
Oh, God,
It's the
shoegaze.
only... Oh, forgot about that.
Like, the thing I love about vinyl is that, I don't know, there's something weird with CDs. Like, I can own a CD and I'm like, okay, let me just burn it onto my computer and then never touch it again.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that's the disconnect there, like, because I'm spoiled by streaming services, but I have a pretty substantial vinyl collection, because sometimes I just want to sit in my chair, put on a record, and, like, I don't know, smoke a cigar or something.
It's pretty great because, like, actually during the weeks I had off work, there were mornings I just woke up, put on a record, and laid in bed and just listened to it.
Yeah.
You know, I had to get up and flip it, but it's cool. It's good.
Yeah,
it's nice,
It's a good experience. Another thing, too, is this may sound weird to someone who's never fucked around with vinyl either, but just the act of cleaning it is kind of therapeutic.
What do you use? Like a little glasses cleaning cloth?
No. Multiple items. So I recently got a static-free brush. So it's just this little thing. You just flip the little handle, and you let the record spin for a while. You just lightly place it on there, let it do like 2 or 3 rotations, and then you just kind of like wipe it off.
That's super neat.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, first layer. And then for a little bit more deeper cleaning, I bought a record cleaning kit from Big Fudge. Big Fudge is a really cool company that I found on Amazon. Their outer sleeves are fucking amazing because they're like crystal clear. The inner sleeves are like still kind of papery, so I kind of use like some plastic ones. However, the cleaning kit comes with a velvet brush, some cleaning solution, as well as a little tiny brush for the needle, and also another little bristly brush to kind of clean the velvet brush off. So you can either do it while the record's on the platter, or you can. What I did sometimes is I have a little table, and I'll just put the case and then my plastic sleeve, and I'll have the record on there. Get the brush, spray it down, and just kind of like wipe it. Especially if I feel like I need to put a little bit more pressure on it, I'll have it on the table. Otherwise, you could do it like while it's on the record spinning. Then you just take a little thing, dust off the lint or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I once spent an evening doing that.
That sounds really nice. I'm not so gentle, and I just kind of held one of those computer things back on a dusty vinyl and like sprayed it. Is that bad?
You can do that, but it may not get everything.
Oh, okay.
It's the difference between taking your car to a car wash and then actually doing it proper.
Actually scrubbing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one thing I will say, because the nerdism in me, like my whole thing is all about big audiophile guys spending shitloads of money on music equipment, is audio quality. That's the big thing. The biggest difference between a CD and a vinyl is compression.
Yeah.
But on a CD, it's literally just pressed MP3s, and then on an actual, which still CD versus MP3 files, you're still gonna, it's more like WAV, I guess, is on a fucking, WAV files are on a CD.
'cause I think
But
most
you
of them
have
have
the
the-
CD, MP3 is the most compressed, but then vinyl And then FLAC, which is even more uncompressed than vinyl, is going to be your routes to go in terms of audio quality. That's the main reason. So even though there is a whole scene behind vinyl, the main reason, back when there was no other option, when CDs and cassettes came out afterwards, it's because the audio quality on vinyl was so superior. It wasn't really always a hipster thing. It was more so a audio quality thing. Then a scene evolved around the aesthetics of the vinyl thing, and that's where the whole scene came from. And now there's all sorts of special vinyls, repressings, even reissues of older albums that originally came out on vinyl. Now there's new ones. You have Rust in Peace 2019 vinyl, and then you have the original Rust in Peace. So there's all sorts of reasons, from practicality to more aesthetics and like, therapeutic.
Like the audiophile, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ever interested, I don't know, do you record by yourself, right? When you record your own music?
I haven't really done any actual recording lately. I've been wanting to try, because I've been playing around with some chords on guitar recently, so I've been thinking about trying to record it, but...
the reason I bring it up, my little brother might get a reel-to-reel, and if you've never done that, it's great the way the sound comes out. It's so time-intensive. Like, I spent like 6 hours on 2 songs, because there's no backtracking. You literally have to remember exactly where you were in the reel, where you fucked up, or where you want to stop or pause, rewind to that. Yeah, it's so.
Yeah, I was gonna say so.
But the time,
with Ableton, I can just.
So, and that's the thing I was gonna say. Unlike where there's an actual like functional difference in what we were talking about between the different formats, reel to reel is just choosing to make something harder than it really is. It's not going to make the music sound any better. So you are better off just going with fucking.
Oh god, yeah.
You are better off just using a digital editing, because you're making it a pain in the ass for no reason.
Just set up your fucking phone. Like,
I don't know about that.
No, I'm being very facetious.
Have an actual music interface on your computer.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. It was neat for the aesthetic, but
just buy yourself a Scarlett. The Focusrite Scarlett, that shit is dope, and you pretty much get a free bass version of a DAW. So,
DAW,
yeah. So that's what I went. Like, I initially bought the Scarlett just to have a better microphone, but then it was like, oh yeah, you get a free. You can choose whether you want Pro Tools or Ableton. I was like, oh, fuck yeah,
nice.
Yeah, so you get like, so I redeemed for Ableton, so you get Ableton Studio Light, so it's very base. You don't get a lot of stuff. And then one day they were just having a sale, so I just upgrade to the fucking producer suite or whatever. it is.
And they're both good. What I've noticed between Ableton and Pro Tools is more used in the actual industry, so you would get experience on something if you ever become a Universal employee or like EMI or whatever like that. So if you go to work for a label, you're better off getting Pro Tools, but what I've noticed is independent musicians and those who are either recreational or trying to teach like to use Ableton more. Something I noticed difference-wise.
Fuck Pro Tools, the industry's dead.
Oh, no, Pro Tools isn't bad.
No,
Pro Tools has made some of the records we all love and listen to all the time, and also made Saint Anger, so it just depends on what
There's actually a YouTube channel. This is where I went to kind of start learning some stuff with Ableton, but it's called Beat Academy, and the guy who runs it, I forget his actual name, but he goes by Ill Factor, and apparently he's like a Grammy-winning music producer, but he uses Ableton.
Really? That's cool. Yeah, so that's the thing. So it just depends on if you're a Gibson guy, if you're going to actually try to have a personality and really use your own thing. It really is. As funny of a joke as that is, Pro Tools is like, Photoshop. It's like, it's just the one to use for most people. But I do like the fact that you chose Ableton, because from what I understand, when it comes to actually structurally putting everything together, especially if you don't use a lot of prefab stuff, Ableton gives you more flexibility on actual, putting it together. What's up?
What is that, a Gibson guy? I don't get that.
Like the guitar?
No, I get that. What do you mean? What are you referencing?
Gibson,
you just want to buy the name
the
brand
basic
shit.
bitch of guitars.
I see what you're saying.
Anyone who uses a Gibson is either worried about who's looking at them will think, or fucking, whatever. That's all it is. It's not bad, and neither is Pro Tools, but it's just to say, because if you're not a music person and you tell someone Pro Tools, there's a higher chance they'll know what that is.
Yeah.
If a person, listens to like fucking Mix 96.1 as their main music station, and you tell them about Ableton, they'll be like, huh?
We don't talk to those people.
What is that?
No offense.
But Ableton is an awesome software. It's just a shame that it has kind of fallen under the shadow of Pro Tools, just because everyone's been using Pro Tools for so long. I don't know when Ableton originally came out.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's been around for a while too, but it's just that Pro Tools has been around for a long time.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I remember Megaran mentioned that he used Ableton. I
That's
think
cool.
he's moved on.
Mhm.
I think he uses something else now.
He uses Pro Tools now.
Oh, fuck. No, I'm pretty
no, he
sure it's not
doesn't. He
that.
doesn't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't want to do slander on Mega Ran.
Yeah.
But
How's that guy?
So yeah, man, we kind of derailed a bit there.
music.
Yeah, a lot of music
Into
stuff.
music.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, so that started from Eichenfeld.
Yep.
All right.
Vinyl, Eichenfeld.
Yep. So moving on. Haven't really played much because I went into a pedal rabbit hole.
Nice.
No, there's no more time for anything else. There's no time.
I
Yeah.
didn't even get to use the pedals, you're just buying them.
So, yeah. So I have been buying a few.
You do get to that plateau.
And then, so it all started because I showed you that video where that guy was playing around with a Hatsune Miku in the
Right,
middle zone.
yeah, I remember that.
And then he busts out the gold, the one with the centaur.
Oh my god, is there a Vocaloid pedal?
Yes, there's a
Oh
Hatsune
my
Miku
God.
It's trash,
Vocaloid
but-
pedal.
I know, but
yeah.
just for
But
the,
it's
just for the,
expensive.
yeah.
I mean, if you got $300
Sure.
or $500
Yeah.
bucks, go for it.
Ugh.
Yep.
However, I was very curious as to what that gold one was, and so I saw on my little feed another video from the same guy, and he talks about that pedal, and very kind of clickbaity title, like,
Okay.
is a $5,000 pedal worth it? He bought that pedal for $5,000.
The gold one, not the Hatsune Miku one.
Yeah.
Is it real gold?
No, it's just
Fun.
gold painted. However, like, there's this big story. This is like the weird, like, holy grail of pedals. So it's called the Clone Centaur.
Okay.
It was built around the 90s. These were handmade. He only made, like, X amount. It's pretty much a, kind of like a, I want to say like a transparent overdrive / EQ boost. So it sounds nice. Like, the guy buys it for $5,000 off
Yeah.
Reverb.com.
Yep.
He gets it, he plugs it in, and he decides to compare it to like a $100 pedal that JHS gave him, and as well as a few others. And he's just like, I don't know if this is worth $5,000, but the tone is pretty good.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's what I was going to say. For those who want that sound, you can probably find a setup to emulate it. But, yeah, no, that one pedal is...
There actually have been multiple clones made of it. So I'll probably get into that a bit. Let me talk a little bit more before I go into that part. Yeah, another interesting thing about this pedal, too, is each one is numbered. When you open it, the guy who made them put, like, this weird black gloop on it, because I guess he doesn't want you to know about the fucking chipset and all that. Some of the more notable musicians who use it are, like, is Jeff Beck?
Yeah.
They
yeah,
might,
fucking-
I mean, Jeff Beck's
One of
pretty...
them, yeah, he's one of like, the
but
top
are
5
they-
guitarists of all
yeah,
time in
he's-
most people's lists.
Are they gonna know?
So he's got one. John Mayer apparently also uses it too.
Boo John Mayer, yay John Mayer's talent.
I feel like
Just put it
John
out
Mayer
there.
just likes to use it to be that guy.
Yeah,
probably.
because he can afford. He's John fucking.
Because his
Mayer.
sound does not need it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a pretty great bluesman. Like, I love his sound, but
He's
I just
a
don't
good,
like him.
yeah, he's a good guitar player. I
He's
can't really say
fine,
I care about
but
his music.
I can find like 20 people that play just as good as him.
I've heard
It's
of Jack
the whole.
White.
It's the whole Jimmy Page. Is Jimmy Page a great guitarist?
He's a great
Right.
session guitar. Oh, I
Yes.
told somebody that once, and they got so mad.
Bet they would. So yeah. So then in another video, someone tells him, "Oh man, you wasted all that money. You could have gotten it for like $27 on Wish."
Okay.
So yeah, on Wish and like AliExpress, there are these clones for it
Yeah.
that are like $20, $40. He buys one, and it sounds pretty close. He just says it's a little bit dull.
Yeah.
However, yeah, there have been multiple clones made out of it. There was a, I guess you could kind of say like a second edition. It's called the KRT. That's probably around $500 or $700 on the secondary market because, of course, they don't, make them anymore.
Right.
Because it wasn't even like a big company, anyways. It was literally just one guy.
Yeah, one guy.
But a few other notable clones of the Clone. There's the MXR Sugar Drive. That one's pretty budget. It's like $120 on Sweetwater right now. A lot of reviews have said it sounds very, very similar, like one of the better clones for that pedal. Then there's also the Wampler Tumnus, and I think that's probably around Probably no higher than $200 for that one.
Like
I think.
Mr. Tumnus?
Yeah.
What does that sound like? I want to know. Wampler.
Narnia.
No, I know, right? It's whimsical.
Yeah, Wampler is a pedal brand, boutique, by Brian Wampler. That was the one that made that Dracaris one I showed you. The one that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a high gain distortion pedal called the Dracaris. It's pretty sick.
So you're a nerd?
I'm about to spiral with you, man. Like this is ridiculous.
Oh, just wait till I tell you more, because so from there I then watched this video that, you know, it's like 20 something minutes. I think it's like 5 watt whatever. They do like a history of the clones. That was kind of neat, and that's kind of where I learned all this shit. Then I found JHS Pedals YouTube channel. That's when I really got sucked in, and pretty much that's all I was watching for a couple of weeks. It is great. He has like a 26-minute video, The History of Distortion. That was really dope. It's crazy how the distortion pedal started, because it was just this fuzz pedal that was made to replicate a session from a country guitar record. And then, of course, fucking Keith Richards blows it up. Accidentally.
Ew.
Because, so they advertised it so you could replicate horns, right? So, what's the song? Satisfaction?
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Yeah. So they couldn't get a horn player.
Right.
So Keith Richards gets that fuzz pedal,
And just
plays the riff for that.
Is that why?
Yeah, they couldn't get a
Really?
horn player.
Oh, that's supposed to emulate horns. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because I was about to say I don't hear a horn.
I
at
don't
all.
hear.
Yeah.
I mean, like now that
That's-
you say it, I kind of
Yeah.
he's just dun, dun. He's doing a little bend.
I was going to say that's all I
Yeah,
hear.
and that's how it was advertised, and it didn't sell. So then Keith Richards hears it on the radio. Apparently they didn't run it by them that they were going to air it, and so he's
Yeah.
all like, oh, what the fuck, it sounds so nasty, why are you going to play this shitty song?
Yeah.
It blows up in popularity,
And then-
the pedal starts selling.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so then from there, you know, you start getting the other stuff, the Rat, the, you know, electro harmonics, the fuzz face, all that. Actually, no, I think the fuzz... No, yeah, it was a fuzz face. I think that was Jimi Hendrix's first original fuzz pedal, I think.
Nice. That's dope. I like fuzz.
Yeah, so that was a very interesting video. Another thing I love about the channel is that, so it's Josh Scott, the owner of JHS. He rarely ever shoves his pedals into your face. If there's a reason for him to mention his pedal, he will. But he will talk about all the other pedals. This dude has an extensive knowledge on just history of like guitar effects and just the industry and stuff like that. He talks about how a lot of his pedals were based off, you know, pedals he grew up. He's also like a huge Boss fan.
Nice.
And he actually collaborated with them and made a pedal. Yeah, it's really cool. The dude's got an extensive pedal collection. So that has been where most of my time has gone. But because he seems like a really cool dude, I think I do want to eventually buy a JHS pedal. It'll probably be the Paul Gilbert one.
Is that the Dream Theater guitars?
What?
No.
Damn. Okay. You
Oh,
know what?
that's-
Enough of
wait,
this.
wait, hold on.
Before I have an
Wait.
anything else, Shiro?
Petrucci.
Oh,
That's
God.
Petrucci. Never mind. I remember. Who is Paul Gilbert?
Okay, we've told you 100 times
Yeah,
already.
we've
I'm going to stop
mentioned
explaining.
before.
No one. Everyone listening to this, do not tell them who that is.
Yeah, don't.
All right, Shiro.
I'm bad about this.
Anything else? Because John does have a time limit. Sorry.
Okay, no
It's
problem.
been like 30 minutes already.
Yeah, so past that, then watched Mighty Boosh again, which was hilarious. And then Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Which is also.
Oh,
That's
also
what I'm
great,
watching
yeah.
now.
I don't know about
I can't believe how good that freaking show
So
is.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Is?
so
Was,
hilarious.
it's done already. But I wouldn't have guessed it was that good. If you told me the premise of that show, I'd be like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo, Mike Tyson. And I still can't believe that Mike Tyson actually... I thought it was
Actually
just an
voiced it,
impressionist.
You
yeah.
tell me that, I would have gone like right in. Scooby-Doo, Mike
No,
Tyson,
but I have
fuck
good
yeah.
taste, you see. But
I
anyways.
like stupid
Yeah,
shit.
I'm like halfway through season 3 right now.
It's
so-
good stuff. It's
Like
good
my
stuff.
time
It
limit
is.
might not matter. Anyway, my turn.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
A lot of nothing. Mine's gonna be really short.
Okay, go for it.
I hurried for this. No, I'm just
Right?
kidding.
This is the big finale here. A lot of work. I started Soma, got on the title screen, got distracted, and then didn't touch it ever again.
Soma's good.
No, I heard it's really good.
Soma's good but you gotta get to the mindfuck part.
You're like, oh, this is spooky.
Yeah,
Let
because
me get distracted.
it's a mediocre horror game until you get to the twist.
Is it mindfuck like how Spec Ops?
I don't know. Maybe you should play the fucking game and then you can see.
I might.
Don't quit a game and be like, how is it, by the way?
No, I didn't quit it on purpose. I literally got like my
Had I continued it, would I enjoy it?
No, but you say mindfuck because Spec Ops was a really good mindfuck. That was one. Like I picked it up because shooters and like
Spec Ops. Okay,
was that the one where it like?
Spoilers.
No. Well, just in case, but I don't think.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is that the game where it makes you think you have a choice to do something? But
right. So that's almost any video game. So the reason I hate that Spec Ops got that
like
criticism is because every fucking game does that. A lot the Dovahkiin can't choose to become a trans stripper in the Jarl's like bar. That's not an option in that game. Ergo,
should be.
It makes you do something. Yeah. Fallout 4 really doesn't give you a choice on how to develop your character at all. You're either the husband or the wife. That's all you're allowed to be.
That's why New Vegas is
in the story, and your baby get taken away. Mm-hmm. What if you don't want to have kids? What if you wanted to adopt the baby and you don't want to have a fucking personal connection? You can't. So to me, it's like I got really heated just because Spec Ops is actually a good game at least.
Yeah.
But Spec Ops is the one where you play as military man, voiced by.
Is it Nolan North?
Very good.
Oh,
Nolan North is the main actor, and then you play the protagonist. The reason people do get mad about the not giving you a choice thing, now this is a spoiler, is there is a part where you're supposed to make a decision to save your platoon, but to do that, you have to fucking like mustard gas the entire city, including the civilians in the place that you're in. So, in my opinion, my judgment call would be like, sorry guys, my troops are great, my unit was good, but I'm not going to kill all these civilians to save 5 people.
Yeah.
But the game won't progress until you make the decision to kill all the people.
Oh, that's right.
So, because you have to save your platoon because it has to be for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
You can't just be by yourself for the rest of the game. But anyways, that's Spec Ops.
What else did I do? Watched a lot of movies. Like I was telling you earlier, I finally watched Zombieland 2. And this is kind of a spoiler, but it happens in the beginning.
Yeah, I recently watched that too. I could have gone through life without that movie.
The first one was good, but I didn't care for the second one.
I like the episodicness of it, but it's like I didn't feel like I gained anything from it. Really, it does feel like this is just part 2 of a series, and like they're continuing their stories. And like, no, the only part I really appreciated was where Harrelson is the president and he fucking pardons Wesley Snipes. That one got me so good. Yeah, that one got me.
That's all it takes to get John to like a movie.
Yeah,
maybe they'll do that in the next Justice League.
Just
and be
a subtle reference. And then...
I don't understand how anybody in the world of Zombieland understands the Bill Murray situation when literally nobody was fucking there.
How Murray? I know.
I almost murdered you, and it's like, wait, how? What?
Who else was
this makes
there?
no sense. Yeah,
like they dump his body over the side, and it's just the 3 of them. Unless Little Rock was telling someone like along the way, but according to the narrative, they're not meeting anybody. They're isolating. So,
Yeah, there was a lot of shit in Zombieland 2 that kind of made me.
It was just better when they left it alone.
Yeah.
I should have made it a series, but a series wouldn't have worked either.
I kind of
leave it a standalone.
Leave it alone.
And I also felt it was way too late. Like the zombie craze is.
Because how long ago did it come out after Zombieland
10
1?
years.
Like fucking, I was gonna say pretty much almost a decade. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
We're gonna have the new Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 out by the time they make another Zombieland.
They're supposed to, too. It's like, why is there?
I
really hope not. I hope it ends up like whatever movie series I was talking about lately when they nix the third one. Smurfs.
Most of the humor, quote unquote, just seems to be like callbacks to the first movie. Like, he's got the code red.
The issue with the Jump Street series as well.
Oh, that's all. And they're so
because the first Jump Street is pretty funny with the William Jonah.
Oh, and then 22, they just keep referencing.
Then they just keep. Yeah, it was. There's literally parts where Ice Cube will just be like, "This is like not the actual line, but will basically be like, weren't there people that did that before?"
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're just being able to repeat content and then you're turning it into a meme by just acknowledging the fact that you're repeating the same thing.
The funniest part to me in that movie was the subtle little, like, after credits where they're going through, like, the different various Jump Streets and it's Seth Rogen.
That was funny.
And he's like, what contract dispute? And it's like...
but that wasn't worth watching the whole 2-hour movie to see that.
No, I actually saw that before I saw the movie. Yeah, this is not good. What else? God, I live such a boring life now.
Dang.
Boring's
really.
better than bad.
Yeah, seriously, no trouble. That's kind of it. Work and then a lot of movies. Bought the James Dean collection. I'm gonna go through
Wait,
that.
which James Dean?
I hate that I know this.
I'm super left out now.
Okay, so the movie James Dean. Okay, yeah.
As opposed to...
Okay, anyways.
No.
Yeah.
You can't leave that
So
page
anyways.
unturned. Hold on.
So anyways, hey, hurry up. Are you done?
I want to know who's the other James Dean?
Okay, it doesn't matter who the other James
Should I
Dean
Google
is.
this?
No, we can't say it on the air, plus don't Google it. Don't Google it at work.
That answered my suspicion. Alright, no, yeah, that's it. So I'm going to watch that probably later.
You probably already watched it and you just didn't know.
Da-da-da. Yeah. It's funny.
Trust me, if you've ever seen the
movie?
content he makes, you've probably seen him.
Yeah,
But anyways.
yeah. Anyway, mate, how was your week?
Oh yeah, my week. Started streaming again after taking a year off, because sometimes you just need that break. Originally I was going to bring the YouTube series back, but then I was just like, streaming's so much, it's less maintenance in terms of post-production, so you do save a lot of time. You just do it, and then you're done. Like you just stream, and then you fuck off. There's no, alright, now I've recorded the because I do have a few minutes in it episode recorded, I just haven't done it yet.
Export the file, maybe cut out any...
Well, and then, you know my style, I edit a shitload. I have a bunch of effects, sound effects, music, and all this other stuff. So, it's a whole fucking production
Commercials,
thing.
yeah.
So it's easier to do just stream and be done with it. So far it's been good, though. I've been getting a lot. I mean, Pokemon is an easy one to get an audience for, just because everyone fucking loves Pokemon. But the people that have been showing up to the stream, they've been good. They've been nice to me, so...
Good.
We'll see. We'll continue with that. I was supposed to start a new game, but I think I might just keep doing Pokemon, just because it's working. Why fuck with it, the formula now.
Yeah.
So I'll have to update my schedule on
Poke
Twitch.
streamer?
But yeah, I've been doing that. New overlay that I made, because I'm not a cunt that uses the PlayStation inbred streaming thing and has a black bar like a dumb fuck. I'm just kidding, guys. It's just no budget. But yeah, so there's that. I got that set up. That's been good. People have been, I even traded with people. That's one thing I have noticed about Pokemon. It is probably objectively the best Pokemon game in terms of features, because it pretty much has all the quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
I think Silver and Gold's the best. Most people I know think Ruby and Sapphire's the best, but go back to those games after playing Sword and tell me it's not annoying to do a lot of the fucking...
No sprints.
There's that, but then also a lot of the fucking breeding and shit's so much easier. There's a lot of tools to make shiny honey easier. Everything's easier in Sword and Shield, but in a way where if you're an adult, will be a good thing.
Yeah, okay.
The only people who don't like it are jobless incels, so there's that. So with that being the case, I would definitely say Sword and Shield is the best objectively, but one thing that Nintendo just needs to fix is the way online play works for anything. Albeit it's not less stable than fucking PlayStation's awful netcoding. However, the way you trade in fucking Pokemon is dumb as fuck. You set a code, but anyone who has the code can trade with you. So you have to think of like unique numbers. If you keep doing like 00119922, everyone will fucking do that one. So I'm always having to set different codes that are like unique. I'd have to do like 01595582 or something like that. You have to do something where it's like not something that someone would just mash, or else you can't connect with the person. It took me and Ian, doing it properly, it took me and Ian like 25 minutes to connect almost one time, just to trade one Pokemon.
And like, don't you need like the person's like, what, 12-digit code?
No,
no.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah,
even if
you
you
don't
have
have
that, it's still hard. And that's why friend code's already another dumb problem in itself, but...
I wish they would put in a feature where you can just, like, trade with friend. Like, just select that and, like, okay, here's your
but
fucking
because
friend list.
they don't have a true friend list like in PlayStation or Xbox, that's why. Because there's no actual connection per se. There isn't. By using the friend code, that's your individual ID that lets you connect, so you are connecting only one player to one player, instead of, like, if I type Shiro online. If I just type in Shiro on Twitch or Shiro on YouTube, I get a fucking massive list, and if I don't know the exact screen name, I have to fucking scroll through and start clicking each one to see, is this Shiro's that I'm looking for?
But why is that
so
standard for Nintendo?
It's basically like that, and then on top of that, you can't even use it to invite people to play games. It doesn't matter on anything like trading, because it's just its own... This is your friends list, but to play games online, you have to go through like a whole other thing anyways.
It's like, we've been doing that on Xbox since like 2004. Like,
and then when Sony copied Xbox's online play, they also fixed it. So that's just all they really need to do.
Yeah, and Nintendo's very boomer with their internet online play.
Yeah, so Xbox is boomer with its marketing. Sony's boomer with its like
Culture.
infrastructure and their culture,
Yeah.
and then fucking Nintendo is just boomer with the online play. Which is why of the three, I think Nintendo's is one of the more forgivable ones, but only because I don't really play online games. I'm not a multiplayer person. A single player RPG, then I'm in, but that's pretty much it.
They also should really change their views about streaming and. all
There's that
crap.
too. That is definitely. I forgot what artist it is. It's a rapper we all like.
MF.
But no, well, he's dead, so I don't think he said this after he died. But nor did he have any signs of being anti-stream at all, so I don't know why that would have been the guess. But
your favorite rapper's favorite.
he
rapper.
was, so thank you for noticing that. But no, it wasn't him. But it was some. But he had a very boomer mentality when it came to like streaming rights and stuff like that. Chappelle's the same way too.
He is.
Well,
That's
Oh,
why
the
Chappelle is not
Netflix.
on anything. Is
Yeah.
because Chappelle doesn't understand the way streaming fucking works. Apparently.
Well, I heard with the Netflix thing, the reason he had it taken off is because, who is it, CBS or whatever parent company still owns all that, so he wasn't getting any money from that. That's why he wanted
Right,
Netflix
but-
to take that off.
He signed a contract when he joined Comedy Central
Shoulda-
to give up the rights to his show.
Should have gone.
So he has no one to blame
But
but
himself.
himself. He
Or his
fucked
lawyer.
himself on that one.
I know. Well, but he has that cloud card with Netflix.
He did,
now.
and that's why they still took it down. They pretty much just took it down so they don't have to beat him in court.
Yeah.
Which they would have beat him in court because he signed
To
away the
run,
rights
yeah.
to his own show. But yeah, anyways, but the whole thing is, yeah, Nintendo definitely, they could work with that. But with Microsoft doing the online play for stuff like Minecraft, Ori and the Will of the Wisp and stuff like that, Microsoft's been working with Nintendo, so hopefully their stuff gets picked up, at least in the next system. I think Switch is the way it's going to be. It's too
Yeah.
far through. It's already going to be 5 years. I don't think that on their 5th year anniversary of a console, when most consoles die after 7 years, I think they're just going to ride this out the way it is and then hopefully fix it. The one thing I want from next generation is backwards compatibility. Because so far, every Nintendo console I've bought, it just move on. Your whole library of games is just fucking nil, niche, and bitch. Like, GameCube was not backwards compatible to N64. N64 was not backwards compatible to Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was not backwards compatible to regular Nintendo.
Wasn't the
So it's
only
one of those
thing-
things where they just never go, huh?
The only carryover was GameCube to Wii, right? Like, you could play GameCube disc on the Wii?
No.
No.
There was an adapter for Game Boy on...
On the
Oh, I
game.
get what you're saying. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
Sorry. On the original Wii. Sorry, I keep thinking Wii U. Sorry. On the original Wii, you could put in the GameCube disc
Yeah, I
and it
thought
works.
that was
That's
weird.
correct.
Yeah.
But...
And then with the
You
Wii U,
needed-
you could do Wii.
Yeah, but you needed a dongle to the Wii mote
Controller.
to your GameCube controller to use a GameCube game, or else it wouldn't work.
Duh, these peripherals, I swear.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, so there's that. That's pretty much mainly what's been going on. The only other thing I'm going to mention is Ryback, who's a known piece of shit, recently blocked Jay on fucking Twitter, which is
Yeah, that's
hilarious
kinda
because
funny.
Jay's never said anything but good stuff about him. If anything, he should block me, which I think he actually does. But that is what is going to be a piece of shit. So to carry off the rest of the thing, I'm just going to play Cornette's clip of what's been going on with fucking Ryback and why Ryback's a known piece of shit. And we're just going to have that on the recording. It doesn't really matter.
Several people have sent this to me since we've been recording. Apparently, a war of words has broken out between Ryback and Mark Henry.
Oh,
Again, the quote that we referenced earlier from Ryback was, "Wrestling is fake, guys. The championships are props to market entertainers as champions. Nobody has actually ever won or lost a prop, as scripted physical entertainment is incapable of that." Mark Henry went on a show and said, a lot of his peers look at him as difficult. A lot of his peers looked at him as dangerous. And yes, talk about it, show all the time. UE is a show, sports entertainment. It's a reflection of sports. Don't use the term fake. The championship is the championship, not a prop. It's wrong. I've been a world champion in 3 sports. Consider pro wrestling one of those. It was the politics that got me to the top. It was the fact that I'm a damn good entertainer.
the politics is what the quote is.
No, he's saying it was the politics that got him to the top.
Got Ryback?
No, this is Mark
Where did
Henry
they got
talking. Mark.
Eh?
It was the fact that I'm a damn good entertainer because entertainment is the name of the job description.
That's why I'm saying in the context of that, that's misquoted. He's saying it wasn't the politics, it was the fact that I'm a damn good entertainer.
Let me just see, because I have a second place here. But it was the politics that got me to the top.
Where are they getting the transcription?
I got 2 different websites that have it here.
They got it from the same place. I don't mean to bog this down, but Mark Henry would not make this, especially the guy who always fucking blind his first few years in the business, would not say it's the politics that got him to the top. It's the fact that he was a good, he says entertainer, I'll say wrestler, whatever. Anyway, keep going.
Ryback can't take away what I achieved. There's no way that your bitter ass, talking to you, Ryback, your name is not Ryback. I don't even know what your real name. Yep, whatever it is, you are wrong. Every wrestler that sees your face should walk up to you and say, hey, asshole. And I hope you know how to fight for real. No, and I know people that would whoop your ass. If I saw you, I'll tell you, hey man, asshole. And if you want it with me, you can get the first one. Your punches taste like candy. And there's a bunch of guys out there that feel the same way that I do. Talk shit on our business. My family with this business. This show, hey, show about wrestling. An active talent, employee.
Yeah, and Ryback actually changed his name to Ryback legally, just so that way WWE can't take it. Because WWE only owns the name if it's a kayfabe name, but they can't take your real name, so he changed it to Ryback so he could stay.
I feel like it's something that's given, it's a prop. You're wrong. What have you ever been a champion in outside of wrestling? Are you a champion in your own home? Your dogs like you? People around you respect you for being more than a wrestler or a musclehead? I've been a musclehead my whole life. Respect me for it. Oh, the wrestling industry an apology. You don't? I think that pro wrestlers all over the world should never give you respect. So some words from Mark Henry to Ryback.
Fatback is not a very popular individual these days, is he? Because he keeps running his fat mouth.
He did all this. He put up just a series of about,
don't tell me he's talking back to Mark Henry instead of just taking his ass chewing and long.
Well, that's what made me look into this, because someone tweeted me.
They find the part, there's another follow for this.
Pretty sure that's factual.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit here. Faithful to my own brand, Ryback trademark will be awarded to me in the future.
Oh God, he's still fighting with WWE.
Respectful piece of shit that wouldn't have been allowed in the wrestling business 30 years ago because the way he talks about it, thinks about it, obviously, and considers it. You, just because you didn't get to be world champion, and you didn't get to win the belt, and you didn't get to do whatever you wanted to do to where you had to walk away on $1 million contract because they wouldn't see how great you were, you call the business phony and fake. Tell everybody the championships are props and they don't mean anything. Fucking jilted by your fucking boyfriend. You're trying to tear him down. You fatback.
The story
That
gets
should
a
be
little
his name.
funnier
That's a
based
good
on what
one.
I'm seeing.
So guess who likes Ryback? Of course, Ryback, a known piece of shit. Guess who fucking likes
so
him?
apparently, away from Mark Henry, over the summer, one of his drunken YouTube shows, Chris Jericho talked about Ryback. Here are the quotes from Jericho. I think Ryback is great. I think he was a huge star that was kind of buried by politics for whatever reason. And there was, really, back to WWE, the year I worked with Fandango, was originally supposed to work with Ryback. That's what we kind of had worked out at the time. For whatever reason, Ryback didn't happen. Vince changed his mind, as he's wont to do, like I said, and they changed it to Fandango. Then it gets better. This is the money shot right here. There was a time Ryback was so popular that I suggested he should be the guy that beats the Undertaker.
He was originally
one.
Jericho was trying to push for him
And
to
it
break
didn't go
Undertaker's
that
streak
way.
instead of Brock Lesnar.
Sometimes there's complaints about his work.
Okay,
Ryback.
who is Ryback?
Bunch of house
Exactly.
shows with him in Calgary.
So yeah, that's
You
basically
don't
what's
know
been going on.
Ryback?
and that's kind of Cornette and the last whole point is like it's not even like he's anyone for real.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I was thinking, is that the Maximal, the Rhino one? But that's Rhyhorn.
yeah, that's
What the fuck? Rhinoc. Not Rhino.
Yeah,
Rhino.
But yeah, so it's just one of those things where Ryback's already been a piece of shit, like, but it's just funny how they're all in, like, the same bubble. The weird thing about Undertaker is even though he believes in the same politics as Jericho and all them, where, you know, because Val Venus recently is outed as a QAnon flat earther kind of person and all this stuff, so it's, a lot of wrestlers are kind of in that thing, but the weird thing about Undertaker is even though he is a Trumper and believes in, like, I don't know if he believes in QAnon, but he definitely does believe in the whole leftist conspiracy theorist shit and all that
he's
stuff.
A flat earther.
I don't know if he's a flat earther, but Jericho definitely
He has
is.
platformed them.
Oh, Undertaker has?
Oh, I meant Jericho.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about Undertaker. Yeah, I
I
already said
meant
yes.
Jericho,
Jericho's
has
fucking
platformed.
stupid,
Yeah, that's the thing I was saying. Yeah, Jericho is. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Jericho is, but Undertaker's not. Okay, I don't want to misinform the people.
Right.
That,
Wait, but-
like I said,
wait,
Undertaker has bad politics, but I don't think he's a flat
How
earther.
can someone so round be a flat earther?
Fucking got him. But yeah, it is one of those things where, yeah. So it's weird that Undertaker, despite the fact that his politics fall on a different, like, they all fall on the same part or whatever, he still isn't entirely on board with everyone that's kind of like on that whole, I don't know, it's just weird how
not
that's
nuts.
a thing. Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. Because he still will call out a lot of stuff like that. But it's just funny how, like,
Yeah, cool.
Jericho
It's
and
still love
Ryback and all
Undertaker.
them just really love each other and, like, fucking hand job yeah, exactly. They just hand job each other under the table like that. Because, like, I'm 100% sure, even though at one point Ryback was being pushed, I do not think that at one point that he was ever to the star caliber that Jericho was pushing him to be.
Yeah, I've never heard of this guy.
Exactly, and that's the thing. You've
Ryback.
heard people that have come in after Ryback, and you still haven't heard of him.
Yeah,
So
I have an Orange Cassidy stand page.
there you go.
Uh,
That's another person that they didn't get. He won Popular Wrestler of the Year.
Ryback's
so thanks
just a
to people,
super hungry boy.
so thanks to people that we know from a Hangover spot. People that we know from there that probably pushed for people
Oh
like
god, then
Orange
I
Cassidy.
shouldn't be drinking. I'm going to be the drinking guy on this podcast.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
no.
There you go. Now I just need to make bad promos. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I still haven't been watching wrestling because it's just not fucking worth it right now. The headache. NXT is garbage now. It's just completely bullshit and not worth watching. AEW is probably slightly better, and I still don't want to watch that either. You
This
okay
guy looks
there?
like a...
Oh, you looked up Ryback?
Yeah, he looks like
Oh my God, no, that's a
he
history.
looks like a Dollar General Goldberg.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah.
that's what he is.
Who's this jabroni?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, wasn't his main move the spear?
Yeah, his main move is a spear.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly sure he's even done the jackhammer before,
I
whatever
don't
he
know
called
if I've ever
it. But
seen him do that.
Mhm.
But yeah, he is like bargain bin Goldberg.
yeah, it's really all it is. And then that's just the thing, is he just didn't have much to it. Yeah, he was buff, but that's literally all he had to it. And as we all know for wrestlers, even being buff, as long as you have a good workaround for it, like Tyler Breeze is nowhere near like intimidating or
No.
buff, but he's a great worker.
Yeah.
And he has his, he's able to work the mic and stuff like that.
Dude's
And that's the whole
athletic.
thing.
Dude knows how to make a character. Because Tyler Breeze, as much as, like, at first I saw him and I was like, oh, this character's stupid. But, like, the more I watched, I was like,
Just
holy
to prove
fuck,
I'm not
he's great.
insane, it's Ryback doing the jackhammer. Because I was going to say, I remember seeing it. As I was
Okay.
like,
Oh, that is bad.
So he really is just a discount. So he
That
really
is-
is just a discount gold.
That
Goldberg.
just seems so
Terrible.
flaccid.
It is
compared
It
to
is.
Goldberg's.
I know, and Goldberg's is already lame, but that made the move look even worse.
The thing is, when I see Goldberg do it, it's crazy because he does it so cleanly that
He's
it
got stability.
it almost looks like he's literally floating in air for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
That
yeah.
just looked like...
like he can barely carry him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, exactly. So
That looked gross.
yep, pretty much. So Ryback's just a piece of shit, and
Hasn't he also injured other people because he's so bad?
okay, so John has disappeared from the cast. Oh, you're good. Okay, I was gonna say, what happened here? I wasn't sure that was. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I was gonna say you're just gonna run, but okay, that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it, though. I mean, just Pokemon's been the main thing. I would want to run other things, but again, I think especially when you have an audience for something, you might as well just stick on that for now. I'm not going to become the thing where I'm the Pokemon guy or the whatever. I am going to eventually move away
Pokemon,
from it.
but not
So
Pokemon.
we'll move from that.
Yeah.
But
That's the girl that did Pokemon, right? That's her
Yeah.
name?
yeah. One of the most problematic piece of shit fucking streamers on the face of the earth. Yes.
Jeez, I'm
Let's plug
so
her.
out of the loop.
Let's
I don't
fucking
know.
plug
Why-
her. What are you talking about out of the loop? She's been a piece of shit since she started, period.
I just heard that name like this year.
Oh my fucking god.
To be fair,
next
to be
year,
fair.
Next year, John will hear about
So-
PewDiePie for the first
Hold on.
time.
So
Hold
this,
on, wait.
So this month then?
What did I just like last year? What did I just
Okay.
hear literally this month that I'd never heard? Because last year was "Kiss from a Rose,"
Ryback.
and then we
Now you heard Ryback.
No,
That's your
it's
monthly
something
one.
important. No, like, I forget. I'll remember.
Well, we said
I'll bring it up.
Pokemon, and now we're talking about important. I'm getting a little confused here on our line of thought
To
we're
be
going.
fair, he mentioned
Relevant.
Kiss from a Rose. That was an important
Yeah,
song.
That was
Kiss from a
important
Rose
song.
is good.
No, I just heard that the first time last year. That was a whole meme. But there was something that just happened again the other day. And I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, where can everyone find your stuff, Mr. John?
At Gyarados Ekis. The one time I'll get on there in like a year.
All right, cheer up.
Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, at Joshiro Joestar, YouTube, Shiro Play 5.
You can find all my stuff at CD Rocker at all the places. Sorry, straight alcohol. At CD Rocker at all the places, SlimAsianEntertainment.com. You can see the streams there, as well as DisconnectedCast.com has a link to the Twitch and everything. I do multi-stream since I'm not partnered with anyone, so that's the way to go right now. My ideal way to do it would be, if I do pick up on streaming, instead of becoming an affiliate with Twitch or gaming with YouTube Gaming or Facebook Gaming, I kind of want to just, like, if I have enough audience, I want to just start doing Patreon, and then that way I can stream on every platform still. Because if I partner with Twitch, then I can't stream on Facebook or vice versa for any of them.
Yeah.
So I think that would probably be the way to go, because not just would my reach stay high in terms of, like, being on 3 different platforms at the same time, but aside that, I could still get the monies, assuming the support's built there. So then I could just do it through Patreon.
Sidetrack there. My friend was asking me the other day about like Facebook Gaming versus Twitch.
Dog shit versus a good platform.
Okay, so Facebook Gaming is
Facebook Gaming pays a lot, but they bury you in terms of reach. Like, I can speak for this as one of Melanie Mac's Discord mods, and I used to be one of her stream mods. I just don't make it anymore, so I stepped down from that position. When she went to Facebook Gaming, she got a fat contract. Like, it was, she couldn't disclose the amount, obviously. Not to mention I'd be arrogant to do anyways. But she got a huge paycheck where it was just a no-brainer for her to say yes. However, one thing it did, though, is she had to quit Twitch and YouTube because she did try those platforms. She was partnered with those platforms before. But Facebook just gave such a big paycheck, which is known to do. Sofla Antonio, being one of the first paid Facebook pages, made a lot of money off of that. Facebook has certain people they have their eye on, and when they do, they'll pay you a lot. However, her reach was pretty much capped. She said that, just as an example, this is all, for example, numbers. I don't know her exact, follower base or anything like that. But on Twitch, let's just say she was reaching 300,000 viewers monthly, plus 1,000 every month because it kept growing and she was getting more. Let's just say.
Yeah.
On Facebook, she had 200,000 followers, and for like the whole year she was there on contract, it just stayed at 100,000 the whole time. So she's not getting paid for subs on there, so it doesn't matter as much because you get that salary check. But she wasn't getting known by anyone else. It was just the same people over and over and over again. And especially as an influencer or a content creator or whatever, you want to be able to grow that number.
Yeah.
So once her contract ran up with Facebook, that's why she went back to Twitch now. That's where she is right now, because the money isn't as high of a contract. She's not going to be paid as much, but her reach in time will outpace her contract on
That's
Facebook.
cool.
So
Okay.
that's one of the main things. Plus, it's hard as fuck to get contracted by Facebook Gaming. You basically have to be... Facebook Gaming only wants people who are established already.
Okay.
To get paid anyways. Because they ask you don't ask them.
Yeah. All right. No, that was very informative. Thank you, mate. Yeah.
So... that's the thing. And then YouTube Gaming is a whole cesspool because you have all the cringy, racist, homophobic, transphobic comments from YouTube. Plus, yeah. Plus, their format tools on YouTube aren't great either. I just like going on there because since I have the most subscribers on there already, the chances of people hopping on that are better than everything else.
Yeah,
that's the only real reason.
I've also seen like this is probably, it doesn't have to do with YouTube gaming, but just YouTube streaming in general. But like the super chats are not very organized.
Correct.
Like multiple times I've seen where streamers are just like, I can't find the super chats in the order they came in.
Yep, and that's also why, and it's just out of control as for the mods. Like, Twitch is pretty good. You can turn on like delays where like the mods will see the message like 30 seconds before everybody else.
Good.
So that way, if someone says
The V word?
or anything, offensive, all the mods will see it first and be like, oh, fuck that, and get rid of it before anyone in the thing can actually see that. YouTube is all real time, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
you can imagine that was a mess. In fact, when she moved to YouTube first is already where a lot of I started not being able to watch her as much just because the platform was so bad. And then when she went to Facebook, that was the nail in the coffin. And I was just like, sorry, Mel, I'm just going to mod on your fucking Discord. And I always have the hammer warmed up there when someone wants to be weird. But I'm not going to be able to mod your streams anymore just because I can't watch that. So she's back on Twitch now, but then because I'm streaming too now, it'd just be a conflict of interest to just also give up all that, just to, whatever. But some people are really good mods, and they were built to be it. There's a few people that are still mods from when I started, back when she was like really a smaller channel, and like she'd pick me just because I was always in her thing all the time. But yeah, I've been there for like 2 boyfriends. I've been through like 2 boyfriends, 3 streaming platforms, and a whole mess of stuff that she only talks to the mods about. So
nice.
She's cool though. She's really transparent. I just feel bad for her because she's a little too nice sometimes. Where I'm just like, I see where these creeps come from sometimes. So we'll see from there. I can't speak to her exes, but there have been some weird people to her in the stream chat sometimes, and I'm just like, they have that weird mentality where they're just like, I want to marry you, please. And I want to say like, yeah, it gets bad sometimes.
Oh, you've been subbed for 1 day.
I mean, that happens sometimes. Like, they would just get on there. It was even on Twitch, at least we had that delay chat, but we used to hit people with a hammer all the time for saying some fucking real, show your tits, or like the usual bullshit you always see. It's just crazy to me. It's like, has that ever actually worked on a Twitch? Maybe on OnlyFans or something, or maybe on whatever where you're paying for that content. But, has that ever worked? Has anyone just gone into a moderately successful streamer's chat, said, show your tits, and she did? Probably not. So it's just one of those things where I'm just like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, I'm sure those are burner accounts or people who just honestly don't care. It's not like they're trying to build up their Twitch reputation and then they fucking do that, but it's just weird. Let's just Reader's Digest it since we're running a long time. What basically happened with the whole weird stocks and the fucking yada yada yada. Stonks. Yeah. Let's do a quick stonks thing so we know what's going on and why it's related to gaming right now.
Oh my god.
Joe?
Okay. Shit. Yeah, I had to do like a brief explanation to John before we actually recorded. So, hedge funders getting fucked over because they decided to try to short sell, which I had to like learn a lot of this shit today. So very predatory practice when a company is not doing very well and their stock rate is low. They essentially take a loan, whether it be a dollar amount or shares. They will sell those shares in the hopes of the value going down so that they can then buy, pretty much buy back and then be like, okay, here's your amount that you lended us, and then they just pocket the profit.
Right.
Unfortunately, this practice does end up forcing a lot of companies to go bankrupt.
Because it's basically just to get all your eggs out of there, and then...
Okay. Sorry, I just want to interject on that point real quick. Because, I used to work for this company we're discussing. And,
I think all of us did.
We all did.
All of us at one point.
I think Mal's the only one who didn't.
Yeah.
Good for her. Before the buyout, we were watching, kind of, not closely, but just tentatively paying attention. And it seemed like that's what the investors were doing to GameStop before they got bought out by Microsoft. Yeah, it's like they were plugging all this money into this sinking ship just to drive up the price of the stock, and then they were just gonna pull the rug out and cash out.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I mean,
possibly.
It's possible. I mean, Reggie Fils-Aimé has been pretty quiet ever since he's joined them, so I honestly don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I don't think Reggie's doing anything. His department has nothing to do with any of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, because this is Melvin Capital, I believe.
Correct.
Is that company? So, so a bunch of people on Reddit who are on these boards where, they just fucking pay attention to this shit.
They know this shit, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, so they saw that... So they pretty much saw the writing on the wall, because they saw, okay, the stock's going down, especially during the fucking pandemic.
Yep.
And then they saw, the hedge fund selling, so they're like, well, let's fuck them over. So they just bought a bunch of stock to inflate the value of it.
Yep.
Eventually it will bubble. So here's the downside: the people that are doing this, that they are taking a financial risk because they could lose. Because eventually it might just burst because it will reach a point, and then everybody's going to be like, "Okay, I think I profited enough. Let's sell." But yeah, those hedge funders are fucked. So at first they were officially as of this morning, they were fucked.
Yeah.
But apparently there have been talks that they may possibly receive a bailout, which would be complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah, apparently the old White House is already thinking about how to get their buddies out of this shit.
Yeah,
That's so crazy.
The thing that is So here's like a big pro about this situation is that it's really exposing how much of a sham the market really is. Because, you know, whether it be currency, stock, crypto, it's all imaginary shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all on faith.
Yeah.
97% of actual, or only 3% is actually tangible, of actual money?
If even. I mean,
If even, yeah, I was going to say, it's probably gone down since then.
Because, I mean, the way the dollar worked was, it was an IOU, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
There in a vault you'll never see is a piece of gold
Yeah.
that is backing that dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But we've printed so much money.
Apparently it's supposed to be under Cheyenne Mountain.
Yeah, like a penny isn't even worth a penny.
Correct. That's why change should just fuck off.
Yeah. And so I've been seeing a lot of clips from like CNBC and like other shit, and the language and verbiage that they're using is really horrible because, like one clip, actually I think I shared it in that Facebook.
Yeah, we've been talking about it a lot, so yeah, it's probably in there.
Yeah, that's been our day pretty
Yep,
much.
exactly.
Like, one guy's talking about how, well, these people online, they're being very, they're unsophisticated investors making very risky investments. It's like, no, they know what the fuck they're doing. That's why they did it.
They checkmated them.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, man, that Reddit took down like a big stock.
Yeah, there's, Rational National uploaded a video, David Dole. I definitely recommend him for political commentary. He did a video and he showed a clip. I'm not even going to try because I already know I'm going to butcher the guy's name, but he is an investor. However, he does tend to have more progressive views than most capitalists would. And I forgot what network he was on, but he was talking about it. He's just like, you've got these people on Reddit who are doing their homework, probably better, if not as good as a lot of investors that I've even worked with.
Yeah.
And they're doing this, and, whatever. And then the guy tries to, like, you really think that they're just as good, if not better? You don't surely mean that.
I would have said, let's see who's getting fucked here.
I know, right? Who's losing
the
money?
game right now?
Exactly. And it's just really exposing how fucked up it is. And, I was talking to this with a friend earlier. He does have a little bit more right-leaning views than me. And although he is on the side of, those hedge funders should get fucked.
Right.
And they shouldn't receive a bailout. In which I told him, I was like, this is my problem with it, is because these type of people keep preaching to the average Joe Schmo, everything's got risk.
Yep.
You're gonna go to college.
I only got here because I risked.
Yeah. You should invest. There's going to be a
million.
risk. Go to college. That's an investment. It's a risk.
Yep, not everyone who gets a college degree will make it.
Yeah, you decided to try investing, but you went bankrupt. Good for you, but you should have known the risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet, when these people do it, they have a safety net.
Yeah. It's like what we bitch about a lot with a lot of these house owners who are renting to other people and stuff like that. How a lot of them are crying about the pandemic and being like, "This is bullshit that we have to have this because some leasing places are doing rent forgiveness or whatever the fuck like this, and then a lot of the owners or the people that are in charge of that are like, that's not fair." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, that's the risk. And they're by the same people who like to say risk.
Should have saved your money.
Yep, should have not bought that coffee.
Yeah.
Then you could have afforded the house.
Like that one comrade said, kill your landlord.
Yeah, the tweets have been hilarious.
That's not, okay,
we don't endorse that. We don't endorse that.
Okay, now I gotta fucking censor that. But anyways.
Just cut that out.
The Twitter discourse has been hilarious because a lot of it is like, why don't people tell these hedge funders to budget? Mm-hmm. Maybe they just shouldn't get their Starbucks every fucking day.
Yeah, pretty much.
But what's also bullshit, though, is that there are talks that they may try to implement policies to prevent this shit from happening.
Dumb!
Or
they're moving the goalposts.
I know, shit.
Yeah, certain...
They're gonna cover their asses now.
Certain trading companies have started putting limits. I know Robinhood is still allowing it.
I love that it's the name, yeah. That's so funny.
I actually kind of hate the fact that it's called Robinhood.
Yeah, it's ironic.
Yeah, it's very ironic.
Honestly, yeah.
So when Daniel was like, they're still allowing it, I was like, they're actually living up to their namesake right now. But yeah, so GameStop is not the only company that, the Redditors have been buying into.
Right. They want to do what, AMC next or something
AMC
like that?
has been... Blockbuster went up
700%.
700%. Yeah.
Almost 8. Closer to 8.
Last I saw,
fantastic.
Nokia was the next one.
Yeah.
That's at like 6 something. I actually bought like 2 shares earlier today.
Snake better come pre-installed.
Yeah. Because I even though I hate capitalism, I do own some shares.
We have to, because we live in the capitalist world.
Yeah.
It's not selling out; it's buying in.
Yeah, like I do.
Seth Rollins.
I do have a share of Nintendo, and I have 1 share of Disney.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, there's actually an annual voting thing going on in March. I've never attended one, but I'm kind of curious what.
Is it just going to be a big Zoom meeting with you and a bunch of white people?
Possibly, I don't even know. If there's a way for me to vote for no more Marvel or Star Wars movies, I'll gladly vote.
John will have to fight you.
I was going to say, wait a minute now.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Marvel,
We're going into Phase 4,
Marvel
sir.
and Star Wars movies need to end.
Star Wars,
I'm sorry.
I agree, but we're about to get House of M as
Okay, but yeah, so that's what's been going on with the stonks.
Fuck House of M.
Don't get involved in that shit, and this is also why you shouldn't, because it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And you either get lucky or have a lot of money already to just throw in there, or you get really lucky, or you get fucked. Which now the fucking people that should get fucked are getting fucked. So
Oh,
good
this
for
year's
them.
turning out great so far.
So far, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious. It's hilarious to watch from afar.
Yeah, exactly. So the group that was doing the black PS2 themed PS5s, they're called Super. It's styled with a 3 and a 5 in place of the E and the S. So Supers has been doing it until... Not a CMD, because they'd partner with Sony. They did do this with permission to resell and stuff.
Oh.
Plus, they have the right to, because they bought the PS5, so they repaint them. You can do whatever you want. I could paint a big dick on mine and then fucking mail it. But anyways, but they've canceled everything and refunded everyone since because of actual credible death threats that they've been getting. A lot of people are thinking that this is all people that weren't able to get in on it and just got, not fast enough, don't have money. There's a bunch of aggressive poor people or whatever the reason is, or people weren't clicking fast enough. But so they canceled everything. They're just gonna eat the loss, and then they gave everyone their money back. So
FOMO is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, exactly.
FOMO?
Yeah,
FOMO?
fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard
I feel like we have like an old man on the podcast that we just constantly, hey pops,
Yeah,
this is what this means.
No, really, guys. Like,
Technically, aren't you younger than us? Too?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna, yeah.
The food.
exactly.
No, it was funny. When I worked at the food truck, my boss was like, "Have you been in prison for like a decade?" Like,
That's what I feel like sometimes.
Dude, seriously? That's how you feel.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm like, when did this happen?
Right?
You're just like blast from the past.
Billy
Pretty
Ray
much.
Cyrus has a
He's,
daughter.
it's just Encino Man. We're she's the Encino Man, and we're the fucking
I'm okay.
assholes.
Wait, who's Pauly Shore and who's
I'll be
Samwise?
Pauly
So
Shore.
we just referenced to Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That has to say a lot to.
Damn.
That says a lot about John in a good way and a bad way.
Yeah.
He could have an entertaining, weird story.
Call me Robot Man.
CD Projekt Red finally dropped Cyberpunk's new update. They are in 1.1 now. So they've allegedly fixed a bunch of stuff. You can check the patch notes on that. I'm not going to fucking bother. However, it breaks the game. So because they can't fucking do it well enough alone. When you are on the mission called Down on the Street, so anyone who's on that, be careful. Basically, you're supposed to wait for a holo call, and this update causes that call to never happen, which causes the game to block and brick and never progress.
Dude.
So if your game autosaves or you have no backups and you get to that mission, it's possible that that's when the game ends.
I love how this game is going to be the benchmark for like objective failure.
I
Just
mean, pretty
lies
much.
and like,
It
oh.
already is.
This
Yeah.
deal keeps getting
Yeah,
worse.
that's exactly the thing. So, so here's the thing: what should a company do? They should have released the game yet,
Yeah.
but this is supposed to be fixing the game, not making it worse. Well, CD Projekt Red says, well, with a little bit of effort, you can get around this. So here's what CD Projekt Red advises that you do instead of bitching about it online. Maybe you could try fixing the game, assholes. So, here's what they tell. First up, load a save file before you and Takamura leave Wakago's office. Then, wrap up the chat with Takamura immediately and skip ahead 23 in-game hours. That should do the trick and fix this problem.
That's stupid.
Why should you have to fucking do that? The game should just don't do that.
should be.
Stop breaking it more.
I'm at that part too. Right? I just
The staff recently revealed that the entire gameplay demo that we saw a couple years ago was fake. Which is, it has some people who are Galaxy Brain about it and be like, well, all E3 demos are no. The difference between something running on higher hardware just means that it's real. It's a real build. Like Spider-Man, for example, the controversy with Spider-Man when it came out on PS4, not looking that good. It's because the build that they used at the gameplay on the game show before was running on a PC, so it was running everything smoother, higher frame rate because it's a PC build. But the game itself was real, and that was real gameplay, just running on a higher build.
Yeah.
This one was just entirely fake. It was basically all pre-rendered, cutscenes essentially. It's not just bullshots, it was just entirely fake. So that's one of the things that they were talking about.
So
However, despite all this, Cyberpunk has set the record for the highest selling digital launch of all time. So
Yeah,
no game
one
has
expected
not sold it at
Wow.
launch. So despite all the issues, they still set this record. So there's that.
I don't know
What
if you want to make a...
Not
note
a highest refunded.
Oh, John is running away now, which means I'm probably going to do another half-ass promo to get us to the week again, but there's that.
I was going to say, if you... Because when are you going to...
Oh, yeah, not until... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is totally recorded on Sunday night, so yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Friday, where do you work?
Friday, I'm off, so we can just do it sometime then.
Oh, perfect.
And if you want to do some Minecrafts too, just let me know if you're free.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me know.
Alright.
Alright, buddy.
Sorry, guys.
Let's lock the knob on the way out. I lock the knob. Let's lock the knob on the way out.
I'm about to
Right.
lock the knob, believe me.
There you go. Breaking Benjamin apparently had a song in Halo 2 and has gone platinum. I need to ask Daniel about that because I didn't even know Breaking Benjamin had a song in Halo 2. Did you know about this?
Yes.
Okay. Is it like a full-on Breaking Benjamin song, or they did music for it? Is it like an OST thing, or is there an actual Breaking Benjamin song in the game?
If I'm not mistaken, I think they played the instrumental track.
Okay.
I think.
So I didn't remember hearing his vocals. I was just like, I don't remember that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's why.
I think if I remember correctly, the name of the song is "Blow Me Away."
Oh wow, that's interesting. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah, I mean it's an alright song. If you
Does it
you
just sound like you feel like Breaking Benjamin's one of those things?
It's a Breaking
I've
Benjamin
noticed that
song.
about Breaking Benjamin is they're one of those bands. If you like the way they sound, like you like them.
Yeah.
If not, they're not going to release anything ever that'll change your mind.
I mean, I think they're okay. I haven't really heard much past Dear Agony, I think.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, I didn't like.
I've heard even people that like them has said that it's just been kind of boring since then.
I remember Daniel said he liked that album.
I'll have to get to Daniel.
Yeah,
I'll see. But
I'm looking them up on Spotify right now.
noise.
Yeah, Blow Me Away. That's
the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if the vocal track is in it, but I know that the instrumental at
Okay.
least.
So there is like an existing vocal track.
Yeah.
I'll probably check out both then. I'll just listen to the instrumentals to see if I remember hearing that in Halo 2, and then I'll check out the vocal one. Oh, of course, now we're going to get to the stuff that I wanted to ask John specifically about because he had this pre-installed already, but alas. So that is life. One of the things, we watched two trailers. One was Resident Evil 8, or The Village /8, because they stylized the I and the L's to be the VII. Which is kind of cool. I mean, that's whatever. They're continuing the first-person route that RE7 did, which at first, when I heard about them going that way, I didn't think it was going to work. Mm-hmm. It may not be the classic Resident Evil style or whatever, but it's pretty good. And the fact that we didn't get PT, 7 did the job and filled in that gap just as well. So there's that. They're going to continue that route. If you didn't like that change in the series, then fuck off, I guess, because that's what you're going to get. You can play RE2 Remake and RE3 Remake and go that way if you really want the whole third person, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it works surprisingly well. It's going to come out on May 7th, and they recently announced the last-gen versions. But, because they've always kind of just said they might do last-gen versions, they didn't just confirm the last-gen versions, but they have confirmed that they are going to launch simultaneously with the current-gen versions and the PC version.
Okay.
So May 7th will be all of them. Let's hope it's not a Cyberpunk fiasco that they just shoehorn these last-gen versions in. Let's hope. Because Capcom is always two ways. They're either Cap God or Crapcom.
Yeah.
They really do not know how to balance it. They're either releasing the worst entry in a fighting game series or Monster Hunter World, which is one of their best-selling games ever. So it's kind of like...
Lately, it seems so long as it's not a fighting game.
Yeah, I guess that's the
good.
rule of thumb, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we saw The Medium, which is a Xbox console exclusive, because I already know someone's going to try to correct me. Console exclusive means among the consoles, it is exclusive to...
Yeah, because it is on Steam.
Yeah, it's on Steam, which, exactly. But they've already said every Xbox game is also going to be, the first party ones are going to be coming out on, but yeah, it looks good. I'm actually really surprising. It gave me, kind of like, how am I going to fill this Silent Hill itch? And I'm hoping, I don't know if the gameplay is going to be like Silent Hill, but the vibes were. The creepy little half-dead girl, I thought. Like, when she first appears in the cinematic, I thought it was going to be the villain. I was just like, oh god, she's going to, like, shoot her and run away. But instead she seems to have this, like, attachment with her, like, it's her daughter or a long-lost niece or friend or something. I forgot what you called her, kind of like an edgy name.
Yeah,
There's some shit.
I forgot.
Yeah, but
I remember it was kind of weird because
Yeah.
at first, like you can't really see her very well, and my
Yeah.
first thought is like, why aren't their mouths moving?
Uh-huh.
And then it looks like she's wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one looks pretty neat.
I mean, as far as Xbox exclusives go, this is the first one since Scalebound that I honestly have seen where I'm like, damn, okay. Now, of course, you'd probably be better off going the PC route of playing it instead of buying a whole separate console for it. But if your PC can't run it and it'll cost as much as an Xbox Series S to buy, and you got an extra $300 around and you not want to buy a $300 graphics card, you can still play it that way. So you gotta check it out either way. It is going to run on Xbox Series S, X, and Steam. So we can check that out. Or Windows Store, God knows anymore at this point. It just says PC. So hopefully it's Steam and not Windows Live, because we know how games for Windows Live goes. So hopefully not. But it does look good. We'll see once we see gameplay and stuff. Right now we're just seeing narrative trailers. Actually, I think a gameplay one did just drop a couple of days ago, but I wanted to just show you all at least the gist of what it's supposed to be. So it seems like it's going to be a psychological horror type game. So we'll hope it is. Voice acting definitely doesn't sound stilted. It sounds pretty good. That's one of the first things I notice sometimes with these kind of games, is when the voice acting's like really bad. And sometimes it works, like RE1 or RE2, where it's like really stilted, like, you almost became a Jill sandwich. But you gotta be really careful, because there's also a line where it's just bad.
Yeah.
And I think when a game looks like the way the medium looks, it should not have that kind of voice acting.
I think with the first Resident Evil, I think that was all intentional, though. Like, they wanted it to be
some
cheesy.
B-movie type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Then they did a good job then. But, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, as for Resident Evil 8, I completely missed out on 7. And I've heard good things about it. The thing is when I see gameplay, and I was also thinking of this when I was watching the 8 trailer, like, it doesn't feel like Resident Evil.
Correct, and that's the thing, exactly. Yeah. This is what Resident Evil is now, but you really gotta you gotta convince yourself that this should still have the Resident Evil name.
Yeah.
For sure.
I gotta say, though, when they showed the merchant, I just immediately thought of Rich Folker. Like, I saw him, I was like, oh my god, that would be him.
Yeah. And who knows? Yeah. Maybe we'll get in the future. I think seeing the merchant again is kind of interesting. Yeah. I like what the dev, I don't know if he's like the director or or just some random suit, or maybe he's actually part of the team, but whoever that guy was that was talking over the video, I did like how he said that every time you run into the merchant, he's going to be in type of some situational like dialogue or scene. Yeah. So I think that's kind of cool, that you might catch him running from the latest mob, or he might be like, whoo, shit, while you were running through that room full of razors, I just walked down the back wall, or something, some bullshit. Like, I like the fact that they're going to try to go there. I hope that they don't try too hard to capture the charm of the RE4 merchant, because that was a great thing in its own, I don't think they were too focused on him becoming iconic. But he became iconic.
Oh, yeah, he pretty much became a meme.
Yeah, I hope that they don't try too hard with this merchant.
Yeah.
Because he seems like he could be alright, but we'll see. What is it? Sexy Vampires is the antagonist, so...
yeah, a lot of thirst going on there.
Which is funny, because it's there. That's really a 180 from the other one was like inbred hillbilly family...
Something like that,
some weird shit, yeah. There was some crazy redneck shit going on with that one.
That was another weird thing about 7. When I saw that, I was like...
Yeah, I appreciate where they're going. It's like they've done, I think with spin-offs, like 16 games with zombies. So I think, I appreciate them trying something different. But you are right, though. The more and more they make these games and reveal and try to be different, it starts to become less and less what you think of.
Yeah,
especially in Japan, Biohazard.
Oh, yeah.
So
for me, personally, I kind of felt like 4 was the last Resident Evil game.
Fair enough. That's probably the last true one, because 5 and on was all action.
Yeah.
Shoot, man, Chris is punching a boulder into dust.
Yeah, then and 6 is just like super...
6 is just dog shit.
Yeah, it's like the fucking, we're just gonna go straight up Michael Bay, American kind of
and their whole focus is really just, look, all the characters, guys. They're all here. Even the grown-up Sherry Birkin. You want to be a weird fetishist and see what she looks like grown up now? It's so weird, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then another thought that came to my mind watching that trailer is, why does every game have to have crafting now?
There are some games that you play and you're like, I'm not.
Some make sense.
Yeah, but then there's other ones where you're like, I'm not trying to do this shit.
Yeah.
For me, and obviously... I honestly felt this way, although Jim Sterling's the one who has the notorious opinion on it. was weapon durability in Zelda. I do not play a fucking Zelda game to have the weapon break and have to go get more every fucking, few hits. So it's like...
Yeah.
There are some games where it's just not there. It's not appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day when it was just like, okay, I got 2 herbs, let me just mix them. Now it's like, make ammo or whatever. It's like what? But why though?
Yeah. Why can't I just find it in a box in the middle of the room?
Why can't I just kill a bird? They just happen to have a grenade.
Yeah, there's that, exactly. Or have a dog take me to a thing.
Yeah. And then you're gonna have a merchant too,
There's that too, exactly. That I think is the part that makes it even less believable, is the fact that there's a merchant. It's like, what the fuck's the merchant gonna do? Just be
that was a little bit of a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
Cause it just seems like a trend that so many games need to have crafting in it.
Yep. And it's not even it's not like there's a quality of life thing that a game has and it's just like, oh shit, we should adapt that into everything.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind for me is overshields. Halo is one of the first ones I can remember in the mainstream gaming market that did that, and how many fucking games have overshields on top of your life?
Yeah.
But that's good though. That's a good quality of life thing, because it does suck to just get killed and there was no way you could have really got around it. Now overshields and it regenerating kind of adds that extra element.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even without Overshield, I think a lot of games took the cue of, if you're almost near death, you just hide behind cover and just walk it off.
Yep.
Essentially. Gears did that.
Yep.
A lot of other games. I think
Gears is another game that everyone copied, because how many games do third person over the shoulder, slow walk and talk, loading cam, almost every third person game does that now. Horizon does it. Basically most third person, Last of Us does it.
Yeah.
Basically every third person game has got that from Gears. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We just live in a time now where everything's kind of been done already, so you don't really have... It's been a while since we've had that revolutionary game that adds something that didn't happen before. If I had to choose a game that didn't necessarily create a mechanic, but now every game does it because of that game, Dark Souls. The whole rolling. So many fucking games took that. Now, that's probably the last modern game I can think of that introduced something that's, to incorporate into the game style, and then everyone just copies it now.
It's real weird, too, because, back in, the early 2000s, I was going to say the early noughts, but back around that time, every game wanted to be fast-paced, like Devil May Cry. And then Dark Souls happens, and then they're just
everything's slow.
Oh wait, y'all like this slow shit?
Meticulous. Yeah, but the thing that people don't understand is not just is that for a particular audience, but if you don't do it right, it feels really awkward. The Surge 1 and Surge 2. Surge 2 is a phenomenal game. Surge 1 is so awkward, and it really was because they tried to focus way too much on let's just be Dark Souls with with a steampunk aesthetic.
Yeah, another thing I don't think a lot of these developers are probably aware of, or maybe they just don't take it into consideration when making their games, is that with Dark Souls, the way it works, there's a fuck ton of nuts and bolts. There's a lot of things that factor your rolling speed, your iframes, and everything. And I don't think a lot of these games really share the same intricacies as that. Like Code Vein, for example, I haven't played it in a long time. It's kind of interesting how you don't need to build your character a specific way, but at the same time, it's I feel like the dodging is useless. When I'm trying to evade an attack, the way the dodges in that game work, it really just doesn't feel right like Dark Souls and Bloodborne does it. Another thing I find weird is I can barely tell if I'm sprinting or not. The speed is not very noticeable.
Yeah, it's not like in Dark Souls where there's a huge difference between if you're just walking.
Yeah, in Dark Souls, if I'm Dark Souls and Bloodborne, if my character's sprinting, not only do I know because the stamina meter is falling, but I can visually see. In Code Vein, it almost
looks power walking into jogging.
Yeah, it's like the animation is the exact same. You're just moving at a faster pace.
Slightly.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But I love the aesthetic of Code Vein, but definitely. Everything else is kind of...
To me, I think I enjoyed it more only because I'm not good at the Souls games, and since it's not as challenging, and I haven't put in enough hours into the Souls game to get used to the way that they roll and stuff. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's definitely nowhere near as refined. You're just kind of flying all over the place when you dodge in Code Vein, and there's very little reason, because a lot of times, depending on the type of character and depending on your partner NPC, you can just double team the fuck out of a lot of the mobs instead of being very meticulous, and like Dark Souls, like, you know, even some of the regular non-boss things, a lot of those things can kill you in a couple of hits.
Oh yeah.
But in Code Vein, it's a lot more forgiving, whereas you can sponge a couple of hits, but then usually your partner NPC is pretty strong, like, at least in the part I played too.
Yeah, assuming you have the right one. Like,
Yeah.
I think I probably do need to spend more time with the game, but I remember there was one, actually I think it's like the first boss you encounter. I was getting really frustrated because it's like with Dark Souls and Bloodborne, usually most of the times if I'm dying, I usually know why.
Yeah.
But with Code Vein, it was
You're
just
like, wait, what
way
the fuck
too
happened?
Yeah, it's like, wait, I dodged that.
Yeah.
Or what the fuck is the timing on this shit?
Fair
Like,
enough.
you know,
Yeah, I see that.
or I can notice I'm barely dealing any damage, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I need to just grind some more. So,
But
yeah, it was a very frustrating experience.
Speaking of those kind of games, there's a couple of devs that are actually working on making a PS1 version of Bloodborne. Kind of like how they're not just doing the aesthetics, but they're kind of thinking, okay, well, the PS1 was more limited to these, like the way they would use these controls.
Yeah.
Like, you know, L1 is now would be probably more circle in modern games, so they're kind of reconfiguring it and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting. I'm very curious to see the end thing, but as far as the...
It's gonna have like Soul Reaver-esque graphics.
yeah, exactly, kind of like that. And so with the screenshots they have shown from the project so far, it does look pretty cool. I think demakes are always cool like that. So, and yes, that's a real term, by the way, people. You guys don't be like demake. That's a real term. Anyone who makes a fucking 8-bit or pixel or anything retro version of a game franchise that exists, that's called a demake when you fucking make it to the past of an SNES game or whatever. A lot of people do that. That's an actual thing. So we'll see. Even fucking Way Forward did Mummy Demastered for fucking for Switch and a few other consoles, but that's a really good game. So if you like the Mummy, you like video games, play the Mummy Demastered.
I like
for that on
mummies.
Switch. I think you'd actually really enjoy that game. I keep forgetting to bring it up to you. Now I remember.
Mummies are cool.
The Gollum game. The game that I don't know who the fuck that's for.
Yeah.
Like, of all characters, right? If you could have like a Gandalf wizard game or a
Play as
Aragorn
Legolas.
Shadow of War style game or whatever, right? But who the fuck is a Gollum? It's a stealth game. They've already confirmed this.
Yeah.
It's a primarily stealth game starring Gollum. Who the fuck is the demographic for that? Because I know you're not very interested.
I don't give a
If I recall
fuck.
correctly, John wasn't interested in it either. And I love the Lord of the Rings games until they ruined the fucking Shadow of Mordor series. But other than that, with the stupid ass pay to play elements, yeah, that's it. The second one fucking sucks.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Jay, I know you like it, but the second game sucks. And then with the Gollum one, it's just like, I want to play a stealth Lord of the Rings game, and I definitely don't want to be fucking Gollum. I'd maybe understand like a stealth stage, like, ooh, stay away from the fucking spiders, and then you eventually go to a boss fight with Shelob or something. But not fucking the whole game is precious and fucking sneaking around. Like, that's the whole fucking thing. Now, if they have if the only controls is the D-pad or left stick and a precious button, I might find that funny.
Precious
but other than that, I don't think it's going to be that
Say
good of a game.
Precious on Demand. That'd be
Oh,
great.
fuck. There you go. It's like the, come on!
Yeah.
Get over here! Or like fucking Resident Evil 5.
I mean, here, they didn't make any video games based off The Hobbit.
no.
Aside from
Aside
way
from-
back,
yeah,
way
back then, yeah.
the dark times. We
Not
talked about
any
that
time
one.
recently, to be clear.
So I was gonna say, if you want to make a stealth Lord of the Ring game, that's the perfect thing to do, because that's the majority of Bilbo.
Right.
Sneaking around. Oh no, my dwarf friends are gonna be eaten by trolls. Let me sneaks around. Oh no, they've been kidnapped by goblins.
Gotta sneak
Let me
around.
Sneak around.
Yeah, because he's not a fucking combat badass.
Yeah. Oh no, the wood elves locked them
And
up.
that's a very good point. Even if you are going to make this type of game, don't do it about fucking Gollum. You're right, do it about Bilbo.
Yeah, like that game would have worked. I mean, yeah, I can see there's probably going to be parts where they just fast forward the narrative.
I'm sure.
But, I mean, that's the majority of what Bilbo did.
Yeah, and think
He
about
was
it,
hired
right?
as a
Even if
regular.
it's an 8-hour game, let's just say it's a short game. It's on the short on the short spectrum for a AAA game, and it's 8 hours. Could you see yourself sneaking around as Gollum for 8 hours?
Yeah, and then what's the premise too? Like, is it like him following Frodo or trying to find
Yeah,
Bilbo,
right, because what else
or-
would he be doing as far as the narrative's concerned? I don't fucking know, because it's obviously he's going to be Gollum already. He's not,
Or maybe
whatever
he's
the fuck he is.
maybe he's escaping from Sauron, because didn't Didn't Sauron capture him?
That's true. Yeah, he did, and he's in the he's
like
tortured and shit.
Baggins
is yeah.
So
But
maybe
still,
that's it.
even if you were to take all the backstage scenes of what you imagine is happening whenever Gollum's off camera,
why the fuck do you want to play as Gollum?
which exactly that already kind of explains who's this for.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Did you ever once? And of course, I know you and I have both, especially you, watched the Lord of the Rings movies a lot. With that being the case, have you ever once been like,
I want to know
what Gollum's doing right now? Yeah, like when the steward is being an asshole and about to run off the thing on fire. Did you ever just like kind of cut away from him and be like, what the fuck is Gollum doing right now? Like, no! Because who the fuck cares? Because Gollum sucks.
Yeah.
And now the only thing that'll make it worth it is they have like a really high-end QTE at the end, wherever you have to bite Frodo's finger, and if you miss it, you'll just fucking die without getting his finger.
That would be shitty too, because you're gonna die anyway.
Exactly, that's the worst part. You know what's gonna happen to this character. I know, spoilers. Unless, oh god, of an old fucking how old movie? Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? That's the spoiler if you still haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I know a lot of you were racing to do it, and now you've missed your chance, so don't wait 20 years next time.
Yeah.
Netflix is going to be adding 2 anime series. Do you know which anime series they are? I'm excited for one. I'm not sure how I feel about the other. The one I'm excited for is they are actually... I think it's because after they fucked up the last Tomb Raider game, they're like, let's just fucking make a show, because fuck it.
Oh, they're making a Tomb Raider?
They're doing a Tomb Raider anime that actually is part of the reboot trilogy. It's the sequel to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so it is going to follow the storyline more. They're just going to go...
That was the third
in
game,
an anime... Shadow's the third, yep.
Okay.
So they're going to go with that one instead of... So you have... Tomb Raider, Rise, and then Shadow. And then now this anime is going to be a direct sequel to Shadow, so it's going to continue the story. My biggest gripe, I don't want to go, I've already gone on a tip like this on like 2 episodes, so I'm just going to quickly summarize why Shadow's not great, is that Laura has so much character development. In Tomb Raider, in the reboot Tomb Raider, she's this innocent, very skittish young girl who's just forced on this island to survive, because she's just a fucking archaeologist. She's not a badass. She's not, the Indiana Jones. She's just a girl. So you're going through it, and she's trying to survive. She's trying to learn to live off the land, use the bow. Then at the very end, spoiler, you get your iconic pistols because, she like picks them up like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then in Rise, they were like, okay, you got the survival part out of the way, you got to see how she became the Tomb Raider. Let's actually explore some tombs, because the plus side of Rise, which I think is the best of those 3, is the fact that they built very well and made her character build some more by being like, hey, now she's going to start to be a little more confident, and she's going through these dungeons and these tombs and stuff like that, so she's actually being a Tomb Raider. Now we've justified her nickname. So now you know Lara Croft, now you know the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So then Shadow comes out, and where Laura before Shadow is like, I'm going to sparingly only kill to survive. If a dude shoots at me, I will shoot back, but that's about it. If an animal attacks me, I will stab it, but only self-defense. Within like the first few minutes, she's like guns blazing, like taking out a whole army of fucking people, and she's just like, no remorse for fucking life.
Okay.
And then, like, after all this, like, shredding, like, fucking heavy metal opening shredding, she's like, I killed someone. I can't believe it. And it's just like, what? I'm like, you seemed like you were having a pretty good time while you were fucking 360 no-scoping the fucking guys on the island. And then she's just gonna be like, I've taken a life. You took like 20 of them. Why do you... so they keep trying to do this thing where they're trying to keep her be like innocent, very logical, very reasonable girl, but then turning into a killing machine, but then just bringing her back to... But remember, she's just an innocent little girl.
Weird.
Yeah, so that's where they kind of lost it on me on that one. I thought it was growing really well, and then kind of dropped the ball.
I also kind of heard I guess the gameplay is not that great.
It's just not as great. Yeah, they kind of lost instead of just, they had a formula that worked, and it's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and they tried to fix it. And
I also heard apparently some of the deaths are very flaccid and
inspired. They are. Yeah, they're very... It's not like the first one, when she would die, especially in Tomb Raider Reboot, or 2000, whatever the fuck game that was, when she would die, like, that was some fucking... You really felt bad for her. But then, because of the way she's acting in Shadow, you're just like, of course, this is what this leads to. Look what you've done. That's the kind of like mentality you end up having because it's just so reckless. Yeah. Whereas before, it's just like, oh, she was just trying to survive, poor little girl, and then whatever. But I'm excited for that because of everything I just said. And then the second thing they announced is going to be a Kong Skull Island anime.
Oh, fuck yeah!
So that would be pretty cool. The only reason I said that I wasn't as hyped about it is, one, I'm a huge Tomb Raider mark, but then B, I'm just really scared with anything Godzilla or King Kong. I just never fucking know what to expect. I feel like at least they realized that Shadow, the gameplay was just really bad, so they're just going to move on with the story, so I hope they fix it.
Yeah.
But with Shadow, with Kong Skull Island, who knows?
Fair enough, because the Godzilla Earth movies on Netflix are probably, like, universally known as, like, the worst Godzilla movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've only watched the first one, and I honestly don't even remember a lot of it, because I got bored.
So it's just nothing...
Yeah.
Not the worst movie you've seen, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah, and I just...
Well, here's the thing that's going to kind of downplay your hype a bit, because I know you do love Kong and your big monsters and stuff. It's just going to be the premise of the 2017 movie. A crew lands on an island and face off against other monsters in Kong.
Same
it's literally
crew
the same
or
premise.
different crew?
Different crew, but same premise.
Eh.
So, we'll see.
If they do it right.
Exactly. It's going to very much lie on that for sure. So I hope so. I hope it'll be good. Because I would love to see good Kong and Godzilla animes coming out. I'm down with that. So
I need to rewatch Skull Island and get ready for the movie.
I have my 4K copy. It's so good.
Yeah, I do love Kong Skull Island.
They did such a good movie. Job.
Mm-hmm.
Although, one thing I wish, though, because I know you posted a meme about this and I agree with it, though, is I wish they had a military guy more like John Cena in it than Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
You guys think this is a good idea, attacking this guy head on? Their name is Decepticons. I love John Cena's character in Bumblebee. It's so fucking good. He's just fucking... He's so good. He's just like... because... Samuel Jackson did a good job as the asshole military guy who's just meathead, like, it's the enemy, he attack us, I attack him, even though we fired bombs at him first. But we're gonna forget that first part. He's that kind of guy where John Cena is just like, hello, does anyone else fucking see what is happening?
Yeah.
Am I the only one who gets it? Like, that's kind of how John Cena's going.
Yeah, like, I love Samuel L. Jackson, but
absolutely,
I really hated him in that movie.
Yep.
Because the whole time it's like, hey, motherfuckers, like, y'all fucked him up first.
Exactly, you guys attacked him first.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what you get when you attack us. No, this is what you get when you attack him.
I know.
Why are we ignoring that first part?
But Skull Island, like, had a great cast. I don't really care much for Tom Hiddleston.
I like the unnecessary Chinese insert, because she was pretty hot. Although she really didn't add anything to the story at all.
Yeah, but I mean, John C. Reilly, John Goodman.
God, John C. Reilly's great, Miyavi, right?
Yeah, I mean, the small Miyavi bit. That was a good cast.
Good cast. Good movie. So yeah, that'd be even better if they were if they were voicing the anime. But
yeah, and then Godzilla vs. Kong.
Hopefully it's good.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm honestly tempted to just
go to the theater.
Go to the theater for that shit. I mean, the way I see it is like, I could go to a theater. I'll just scope it out and be like, please tell me there's like barely anybody there.
Well, you know what? Because if you go. Anyways, we'll talk about this off recording.
Yeah.
But we'll go look at that little thing where we can choose our seats, and if it looks too packed, we'll just go right back out and maybe grab some chachos or something.
Right. Because, like, the way I see it is, like, just go, get the theater experience out of it, and come home, and then you got, you got a month to enjoy it on HBO Max.
And if it ends up being empty, then fuck it, it's even better.
Yeah, so I'm very... heavily debating.
I guess we'll find out around release time. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what happens. But I am looking forward to it. I know I have seen some people where they're kind of like, they're not happy with the movie poster. I think the only thing I don't like, it took me a while for it to click, but it reminds me of that era where everything was trying to do the whole Mass Effect 2 orange-blue contrasting thing.
Yeah, it looks ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's like they're trying to follow up with King of the Monsters.
I gotcha. Yeah. The one thing I will say, I want to give a fuck you shout out to some people, is to anyone who's just like, oh, well, this isn't going to be as good as the classic Godzilla films. Yeah, no shit. But for what we've been getting here from Godzilla 2000 and all that stuff, I'm alright with what's been going on so far. Is Godzilla and 2016, was it 2016?
So if you're thinking about the American ones, you got the 1998.
I'm talking
Zilla.
about the ones that are part of this universe.
Yeah. So 2014 was the first one. Then Skull Island.
King of the Monsters.
Forgot what year that was. And then King of the Monsters was like 2019.
2017 was Kong Skull Island.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So for all the people, it's just like, for that line of films, is it perfect? No. Because again, I just hate all the human parts. I'm one of those guys that just wants to see the kaiju action. But for what we've gotten and how poorly it's been done in the past, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So all I can hope is that this is good. It could be bad. It could be the Wonder Woman 84 effect where I'm just like, ooh, hell yeah, and then, whoo, hell no. Yeah. You never fucking know.
Yeah.
But I can just hope. Yeah. I'm saying Wonder Woman 84. How much worse could this possibly be? Unless, of course, what Pedro Pascal is going to be in it and be like,
man.
You can get what you want, Godzilla! Woo! You can get what you want, Kong! And then if he does that, then that'd be kind of funny, but I doubt it. Hitman 3 is the latest game coming out that's been going through a weird thing. So at first they were talking about like, oh, if you pre-order Hitman 3, you're gonna get like all the Hitman 2 levels too and all this stuff like that. But then they signed a deal with Epic Games as exclusive for PC, so they're just like, oh, all that stuff we said? Because we made this deal, Epic's not gonna let us do that, wow. So, redacted. But, enjoy us on Epic Games for the first year and then everything else later on, so... We'll see. I mean, Epic Games, apparently that money's just too good. Where, like, no matter what happens, everyone's just like, you know. And I agree with Jim. If you were a fucking indie startup or, like, a really small studio, you kind of can't blame them because that's the biggest paycheck they've ever seen in their life. Yeah. And if all it means is being exclusive to one store for just a year, and you get, like, a few million extra bucks, fuck it, I guess.
I mean, if I recall from the earlier videos that they did talking about that shit, it was kind of like, you know, put the fault on Epic for fucking, you know, waving a big dollar bill thing.
Yeah, because it's like, who can blame the person biting?
Yeah. And again, especially if you are just a small studio.
Yep. Yeah, the ones he puts blame on are AAA studios who don't need that money and are still greedy and be like, let's be exclusive.
You gotta pay your devs.
Exactly. But yeah, so Hitman 3 is the latest game, adding on to some of the Ubisoft stuff and everything, where they acknowledge COVID-19. I was going to ask John this too. I kind of wanted more than just two people's perspective, but I am curious what you think about this. How do you feel about games like Valhalla in the non-Viking part of it, where you're in the fucking, you know, office and stuff like that, and now Hitman 3 and a few other games that I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm kind of tipsy right now, what do you think about them bringing in COVID-19 to seem more contemporary, to seem like, oh, like this is like, to make it more believable in these worlds?
I think it's awkward. Because, for one thing, a lot of people are playing these games as a form of escapism, so that's very strange. And then also, like, how is this going to end well? And it's also going to be how it's portrayed, because if they try to make it seem like this super serious thing...
So to give an example, so that way, before you continue, just to give you an example, like in Valhalla, this is how they literally do it. Hey, can you imagine if this had been a few years ago, we would have had to wear some masks when we were this close.
Oh, so it's just a stupid reference.
Yeah, exactly. So just to give you context of what these kind of references are... That's literally all it is.
Yeah, because, like, the point that I was going with is that, because from now on, if there is a movie where there is, like, a virus outbreak or whatever, and you see Americans being the ones, like, we're
saving the day.
Yeah, you know it's bullshit now.
Because we saw it really happen.
Yeah, we saw it really happen, you know. Yeah. There's going to be a zombie movie, and every, you know, redneck American is going to be like, the zombie is a liberal hoax.
Yeah, as they're getting eaten.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I was... The point that I was trying to go with is it depends on also how they're depicting it. Yeah. If you're going to make a weird reference like that, like, you know, we used to wear masks, like...
Yeah, so from with the games I've seen, that is all they're doing.
Yeah, I still think that is a bit cringe, because it's like, you know, how well is that going to age?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And like you said, for people using escapism, imagine if you were someone your mom died from COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're playing Hitman or Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then you're reminded once again of the thing that took your family members. Like,
yeah.
Maybe not the best, especially right now where we're not even over it yet, and we're already looking at it in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's another thing, too, is because, you know, the way this is going, we possibly may get to a point where our culture might start normalize wearing masks.
Yeah.
You know, like, from now on, if I get sick, I'm probably going to wear a mask just to be like, yeah.
That's a very good point. A lot of, especially Asian cultures, I can't speak for European or U.S. or whatever. Well, I know U.S. definitely not, because even during a pandemic, they refused to. But I remember some people would ask me, so whenever I show someone like a group of K-pop stars that are going from building to building, or they're going to a concert or music show, sometimes they'll show up, they'll usually wear masks or whatever, and they'd be like, why are they wearing that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, in Korea, in certain areas, there's a lot of like fine glass because of like a lot of the industrial shit that's been going on. It's kind of like just flying in the air, so it's just not good to ingest.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is sometimes one of them sick or even just allergies, but just to be safe and as a courtesy to everyone else, they wear a mask. That's why. But like with here, it's just like even during a pandemic, you have fucking jackasses. So yeah, it's like one of those things where culturally that should just be a thing because other cultures already do that. So I agree. Like even after all this pandemic shit is eventually over, whenever that may be, I do think it's a good idea still for the courtesy of everyone else and yourself protection wise to wear a mask if you're sick.
Yeah, like in 2019, actually, during San Japan, I was wearing a face mask most of the time. Like at first, I did it because I was like, "Oh, these kind of K-pop-esque masks are kind of cool. Like, let me wear one."
Aesthetics.
Yeah, but then I also thought, "Oh, well, you know what? I usually end up always getting sick all the time.
Con flu."
Yeah, and so I decided to wear it, and then I know the San Japan tech lead was trying to give me, like, shit for wearing it. And I was like, fuck you, man. If I don't get con flu, it's gonna work out. And guess what? I didn't fucking get con flu.
I hope he got it. But,
yeah.
I was about to say, have you ever gotten con flu?
Yeah.
I have once, and it sucked. I've only ever got it once, and it sucked.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have, because, you go back to work, and then you're like,
yeah, so, it sucks. I've had post-con depression a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when I've been there for 3 days, and I just... Because I'm a mark who just will pay for it and then, whatever. I think you're much smarter to do it economically and just get a free con trip by working it. Mm-hmm. But, especially when you run those 3 days and it's just such a good time, even a convention like San Japan, which objectively isn't that great. I have a great time there, It's like I was talking about Daniel in our group chat yesterday where I'm just like, well, those games aren't necessarily good. You had a fun time playing them because you were with the homies, but doesn't make it a good game. But it's like the same thing with San Japan. San Japan is far from being a great convention, but when I'm there with the people I like and having a good time, it becomes a good convention.
Yeah.
So.
I'm pretty sure if we ever get to a point where, like, we go to, like, Dragon Con or something, the con depression will probably be real.
Oh, very real. Especially when it's something we can only do once in, maybe either once in a lifetime or once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
If we do that, though, I think I'm going to try to get, like, the week after... Off as a buffer.
I'm okay with coordinating something like that. For sure. We'll figure it out sometime. We'll shoot for next year and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hitman Studio is also working. They have a Project 007 project, because I think, is there some sort of anniversary or like another annual anniversary is coming out for whatever reason? They're doing a 007 game and it's actually going to feature a brand new James Bond.
Okay.
So we'll see. That could be interesting. I mean, if a studio's going to do it, the Hitman games are pretty good despite their deal with Epic recently. Mm-hmm. So the modern Hitmans are pretty good. The classic ones are very good. So I'm very curious. I think, hey, 007, Hitman, not a bad studio to try. So we'll see where they go from there. Celeste, before Celeste became the Celeste that we know, there was an original 8-bit, or I don't know if it's 8 or 16-bit, one of like a very like more downscaled game. That was a similar thing, but it was something that probably could have come out on like on an NES or a SNES. Mm-hmm. That Celeste, what they call Celeste Classic now, I forgot what the original title of it was, but now what they're calling Celeste Classic is now getting a sequel. So it's got a free sequel, and you can check it out now even. If you've ever played original Celeste, it's just a very stripped down version of Celeste, basically, but something that you could do on just the
interesting.
If it was like on an old school.
Yeah, I need to play more of that game.
Celeste stuff. I can't wait till you beat it because that story's so good. You really don't. It's such a great thing because without spoilers, it really starts off as just you think, oh, it's a carefree platformer, but you don't realize, especially if you know anyone with like identity issues or anything like that, you really get to see the game starts becoming very. Yeah, I was gonna call it out, but yeah, exactly. If you have that type of thing, I really think it's very. It does such a good job. The story gets deeper than you would think for a platformer with roguelike elements, essentially. So
yeah, I have read stuff from the developer. So I think I got the pronouns right. She,
correct.
Yeah, like pretty much when she was developing it, she was like discovering that she was trans and all that. So of course, kind of made itself onto the.
Harder on her sleeve type thing of the project.
And then I know she did the whole like official like yes, how's Matilda? I forget the name of the main
That
character.
made me forget. I think it's Matilda. I think you're
Yeah,
right. I think you're right.
you
Sorry,
know,
I'm a fake fan, everyone, but yeah.
Yeah, because for a long while, like, a lot of people were just speculating, because there is an image where you see, like, her desk, and there is, like, you do see, like, the trans pride flag there.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people were like, oh, is
this
she...
for real?
Yeah,
Are
like,
we
is she
reading into it?
actually a trans character? Or is this just more queer baiting?
Right.
And then, I mean, the developer kind of did this whole, like, I think she even said, like, I don't even know why, like, I have to type it out, but, like, of course, considering the stuff that she went through, that, yes, validation that, yes, she is a trans protagonist. Oh god, I just randomly started hearing ringing in my ear, sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
Threw me off. So like, that's really neat.
Yeah, for sure. And a fun game at that, so
yeah.
It's got a good game with a bonus, very deeper narrative than it seems, especially at the beginning. Because in the beginning, it really just seems like the person's struggle is this mountain.
Yeah.
But it's just a metaphor, because you'll discover when you play it. But
the mountain is a metaphor.
It's the struggle.
I do really like... It's very small, but I love that the game tells you, hey, the strawberries floating around, don't really worry about it.
Yeah, if you're OCD or if you want a challenge... Most of these strawberries are hard as fuck to get.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's exactly... I'm glad it tells you that because, some people would have to collect it to get either all the collectibles or because they think that might be a secret ending. And I like how it's just... Yeah, you're like... It's just blatantly like... Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. If you want to, they're there.
Yeah.
You want to get all of the strawberries, go for it. But, yeah. I joked about this. I forgot with who. Possibly with you several times. But it has come to fruition because the universe hates me. I now have to try to get a third Switch. It won't be guaranteed, but I have to get a third Switch because there is a Monster Hunter Edition Switch. And anyone who knows, anytime there's a Monster Edition console, I go way out of my way to fucking try to get it. I spent so much money on the last one that I got my 3DS. That looked really pretty next to each other, so I need to try to get this. It is an overseas exclusive, but it is region free, so the only struggle is going to be trying to get it at a decent price.
Because of shipping and all the other bullshit.
So, but
try
yeah,
to get the
I'll
plushie
keep an eye
if
on
you
it.
can too.
It does come out. I know. I wish that. Yeah, I'll definitely try to get that. But it comes out March 26th, so I should have my tax refund away by then. And so the good thing is I'll have money put away, so hopefully I can grab it. There'll also be a special edition Pro controller. They're both very minimalistic, low-key art. It's just like a gray Switch, basically. It looks like the gray model with the Joy-Cons, but they have such nice, subtle matte black and gold art on it. It looks so good. It looks clean. Like, nice, not overt. Like, the Mario one is super in your face. It's like, red, blue, look at me. This one's a lot more like, at a first glance, you might not even notice it's a special edition until you look at it.
I already feel like March is going to have quite the itinerary.
Yeah, pretty
Monster
much.
Hunter Rise, Godzilla vs. Kong.
Kong, yeah.
That's when the Godzilla Showa vinyl set is going to ship out in March.
So, should be good.
Okay.
And then more things are probably just to come.
Yeah.
Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection is coming out, which I'm pretty excited for. So, Ghosts and Goblins is a game I've played before. I primarily got into it because of AVGN. But it's a very hard game. 2 hits and you're dead. A lot of these levels are extremely unforgiving. A lot of the monsters have weird patterns or are just hard to read. But the cool thing that they're doing with Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, which is what it sounds like, it's kind of like not a true sequel, but it's not exactly just a reboot. They have the graphics are awesome. The score is redone with, not just in 8-bit music. It's just all really cool. But they actually have, now take note everybody, because FromSoft should do the same thing, and you guys should stop being gatekeeping assholes, but they're adding difficulty to it. So instead of just having the one asshole difficulty, there's going to be 4 difficulties now, and each one of them will add a thing that makes it a little bit easier for anyone who might not just be a crazy pro MLG gamer.
That's cool.
So I'm very happy for that. Pokemon Snap is confirmed, new Pokemon Snap, because Nintendo's so good at naming stuff. New Pokemon Snap is confirmed a true sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a blah blah. It's got the new Pokemans. It's got new stuff. So it's got a new place called Lentil. Lentil Island.
Yeah,
it's a little
I thought
funny.
the name was a bit weird.
It's a little stupid,
I was
but
like
whatever.
the beans.
6.8 gigs. So clear out that goddamn SD card, or if you got a big enough one, add it to it. But 6.8 gigs. And we'll have, with more details coming from Nintendo and Game Freak later, or not Game Freak, Bandai Namco's the one making it. Nintendo and Bandai Namco will have an update later about the online gameplay elements that'll have it. So they're going to be adding some online play.
Ooh, it'd be kind of nice if they were to offer like a type of. This is just me being nostalgic because I remember with Pokemon Snap, you could take your game cartridge to Blockbuster, print them out of stickers.
That's so cool.
I would love to see if they can find a way to resurrect a similar type of service for that.
That would be awesome. I wish.
You know, I mean, shoot, if I have to like submit, you know, because you can export the files to your SD card, right?
Yeah.
You could probably just shoot them in an email or update them onto like a website server. You know, I'll pay you like what, $5-10.
If I got a really badass one, because I've done this with some cool K-pop photos and stuff, is I will just like this one. No, this is an actual poster. What am I on drugs? But anyways. I don't know if I have one up right. Oh, there's one behind all those boxes. Where if there's a photo I like, I go to Staples and get a nice poster. If it's high enough resolution, get a nice poster printed of it. That'd be something considered to do too. Oh, you can also order like little Polaroids. So
yeah, that'd be dumb cool. If they're just like, just upload it to Elite flash drive and take it to like CVS.
I feel like that's
bullshit.
what they're gonna say. I feel like that's what they're gonna say, especially given where like not that many stores are open right now.
But it's like it's not that I just want like a print. I want give me the stickers.
I don't think... Yeah, at that point, I don't think that's... as much as I want it, I just think that's... Unfortunately, that's just a boomer want for us, unfortunately.
Or what? You have to buy your own printer with
you're
going
to
to
get your own Game Boy... you get your own Game Boy camera printer. Yeah. What if they say it's compatible with the old Game Boy camera printers? I was just like, you better buy one now.
Shit.
But yeah. And finally, the final news, because we were just joking about this. This isn't necessarily a huge news thing. It's just kind of a funny meme at this point, where we talked about how Skyrim's anniversary is coming up, and it's their 10-year anniversary since 2011. Skyrim now runs at 60 frames per second on PS5. So when you're still playing Skyrim on your PS5 console, because there's nothing else to play, and because of course, Skyrim is now a silky smooth 60 FPS on PS5. Not a bad thing, but if you've been a PC player, that's kind of been a thing for a while.
Right?
Now.
Yeah.
So
maybe
get good. But other than that, John, any other closing thoughts? Oh, yeah, that's right, you left. Other than that, we will catch you guys, so far so good, every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And until then, we will see you all later. Bye-bye!